You know, guys, I don't pull any punches. You should know that by now. And I got to be honest with you, Sunday was absolutely dreadful here for the overwhelming majority of the handicappers. And it ended a phenomenal run. I mean, sometimes it's going to happen. You're going to lose. When you think about it, a week ago today, Monday night, just about every single handicapper bought the half point with the Bills and the Patriots and picked up a win. Thursday night, everybody and their brother here on the site was on the Green Bay Packers. Friday, just about every single guy except Gabriel DuPont had big plays on Bowling Green. Saturday was pretty decent as well. And then came Sunday. And let me tell you something. I often talk to you about when I see a bunch of the handicappers via email. They send in their plays through customer service and they're forwarded to me. And I see guys suddenly all coming out with the same game. And yesterday, that game, the Minnesota Vikings. Everybody coming in with the Vikings. I think it was Jeff Benton's big play. Scott Delaney had a big play on him. Craig Davis had a big play on him. Too much weight. That's what we always say. When handicappers jump on a game, and these guys are all spread across the country, they don't talk to each other. Some of them don't even know each other. And suddenly I'm seeing the Vikings come in. And, well, we know what happened in that game. But here's the most interesting thing that I find from Sunday's results. This is not the first time that has happened where the handicappers have combined to have a dreadful day. But 99.9% of the time, it's because the dogs are barking like crazy. That wasn't the case yesterday, guys. We only had 4 dogs deliver yesterday. 49ers, Ravens, Saints, and the Philadelphia Eagles. 4 dogs got the bacon yesterday. We had 6 double-digit blowouts yesterday. Only 4 dogs covered. It was just one of those days. And it happens sometimes. And that's not an excuse. That's just reality. Because if you're not willing to realize that this is what happens sometimes, then what the hell are you doing gambling? I mean, you know, I always say to you, and what I've always maintained since the days I used to have my nationwide radio show is that, you know, there are no guarantees in gambling. But the one thing that you can count on is this. You will never get yourself into a deep financial abyss from which there is no possible escape as long as you never bet more than you can afford to lose. And I know that sounds like a negative, but when you think about it, if you never bet more than you can afford to lose, you never are going to get yourself into that financial abyss. So with all that being said, we've got a good game here tonight, the Washington-Dallas game. Listen, I saw Shawn Michaels was the first guy to come out with a big play on this particular contest, so I made him the discounted play today because Shawn Michaels is the winningest football handicapper here at the site over the past 6 years, making $10 bettors a little over 23 grand in that time period. And tonight he has a 100-dime play on the Dallas-Washington side. 59, 35, and 3 with 100-dime NFL max wager releases over the past 6 seasons. And his overall NFL run in that span, 77, 50, and 5. You get it for over half price off simply by using coupon code SEAN, S-E-A-N. All your other discounts, all your other coupons will be up and available by 1 o'clock Eastern Time over on the homepage, so you can check them out yourself. As for me, here's the deal. Each of the past 2 weekends, I've hit 3 out of 4 15-dime best bets in football, college and pro combined. You know, the problem is greed is good. I mean, to paraphrase Gordon Gekko from Wall Street, greed is good. And by the way, in case you happen to be on Jeopardy, let me just remind you that that's not the exact quote. The exact quote is, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for the lack of a better word, is good. But we can eliminate the hyphenated phrase in between. Greed is good. I mean, I was right there looking for a 4-0 sweep yesterday, and I ride the Chicago Bears. And what's most galling about using the Bears yesterday is that, you know, if you watch the video report, I gave you 2 more free winners for the 3rd time in 4 days, sweeping with the free plays, as I delivered easy ones on the Kansas City Chiefs and the Arizona Cardinals. But there's no buyer's remorse here. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, to use another cliche, over the past 2 weeks, I've hit 6 out of 8, 15-dime best bets in football, 75%. I can live with that too. But I would have liked to have had 7 out of 8. I'm going to go for it again tonight anyway with the Washington-Dallas contest. Now, for your free plays today, let's keep the good thing going. College basketball. The marquee game tonight is the game that's going to be played at the military base at Pearl Harbor between Oklahoma and Villanova. And you know, when I first saw the line on this game, it kind of surprised me because Villanova is a 3.5-point favorite as I do this video report at a little after 3 o'clock Eastern time here this morning. The Wildcats are number 8 in the nation. The Oklahoma Sooners are number 6 in the nation. The Sooners are the underdog in this contest. And I think there's a couple of interesting things here that come into play in this game. First of all, Oklahoma, I think, even though they played a couple less games, the more veteran team with 4 returning starters and a team that also has gotten off to a hot start offensively and has already knocked off a couple of big teams. They beat Memphis in their season opener. They also knocked off Wisconsin. Now, 5-0 start beating Memphis and Wisconsin. Memphis not as good as last year. Wisconsin minus Frank Kaminsky certainly not as good as last year. But you can't deny a 5-0 start is a 5-0 start. And you've got 4 returning starters. You've got an Oklahoma team that's number 13 in the nation when it comes to scoring, averaging a little over 88 points a game. Very good three-point shooting team. First 5 games of the season, hitting over 44% of their 3 balls. Third in rebounding in the nation, 48% as well. Now, Villanova's off to a 7-0 start. They've been idle since December, or well, what was it, 6 days ago, when they beat St. Joseph's on the road. You know, it's the main line in Philadelphia. On the road means they got on a bus and they took a 15-minute ride down Lancaster Avenue, Route 30. That's on the road. But they won at St. Joe's. They took care of business to improve to 7-0. The thing about Villanova, they, in past years, have been such a guard-oriented team. Jay Wright's team could always go 4 deep in the backcourt. They are not that team this year, and consequently, they are not a very good shooting team, especially from three-point land. If you look at the statistics, Villanova is launching 31 three-pointers a game. 31 three-pointers a game. They're only hitting a little over 30% of those three-pointers. They only have 1 true big man as well. Oklahoma's a big team up front. I think Oklahoma's going to win this damn game outright. The line was 4. It dropped to 3.5, as I said, a little after 3 o'clock Eastern time as I'm doing this video report. But I think Oklahoma is to play here. I think it's going to be a 2-point game one way or another. So I'm grabbing whatever points I get with the Sooners. And I'll tell you what, if this is a game that you're going to bet, normally 99% of the time, I would say bet the favorites early and bet the underdogs late. This is not the case here because I think that people are going to jump on Oklahoma in here and this line's going to drop. So if it's a game that you happen to want to play and you're taking my advice on it as well, I would grab the points with the Sooners and get your play in ASAP. Now, in the NBA, I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors, minus the 13 at home against the LA Lakers. Lakers coming off a 111-91 loss last night at Detroit. They got out-rebounded by 21 in that contest. Only shot 40%. Reggie Jackson and Caldwell Pope, the guards for the Pistons last night, combined for 42 points in that contest. And that's a key number here tonight when you consider that Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan combined for 43 points when the Raptors won 102-91 as a 6.5-point road dog in the season's first meeting at the Staples Center November 20th. I think they're going to go off here tonight against a weak defensive Lakers team that is a road-weary team as well. Because remember, the Lakers also lost Friday night 100-87 in Atlanta. They're 1-3 on their current road trip. The only win came, against Washington, and that was a night after they gave Philadelphia, the 76ers, first win of the season. 5th road game in 7 nights, 2nd in back-to-back games. They have allowed at least 100 points in 10 consecutive games. Now, the Raptors have lost 2 in a row. They rallied from a 10-point deficit to lose to Golden State, a game in which they were actually up by a couple of buckets with about 4 minutes to go, 112-109 on Saturday. The problem with the Raptors, you look at this team, where they could be if they only beat up the bad teams. In 10 games against sub-500 teams this season, they're 5-5. You take 3 of those losses and turn them into wins, and this is a team that's doing much better than they are actually right now. Sub-500 teams has been their downfall. I say they jump on the Lakers early here. They hammer them hard. This is a team that just lost to the woeful Denver Nuggets, another road-weary team, Thursday night in the game prior to giving the Golden State Warriors all they can handle. So again, Kyle Lowry's coming off a monster game against the Warriors in which he had 41 points. He's averaged over 26 points in his last 6 games. Kobe Bryant may or may not play tonight, but does it really matter? I mean, he was 2 for 15 with 5 points against the Pistons last night. Lakers 3-17 so far this season. They were down 23 points at halftime last night. They were down by 16 points halftime Friday night at Atlanta. I think you got to go here and lay the 13 points with Toronto as they roll in this game. And again, the other complimentary play, I like Oklahoma to win outright against Villanova. Good luck, guys, and I'll catch you.